Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spooky Time Tea, the show where we talk about ghosts, ghouls, murders, mysteries, and everything in between, all while enjoying a cup of tea. Like a tea party, but spooky.
2 out of 3 of us enjoy tea. I am the tea hater.
Well, this is it. Yes, she is the tea hater. So I am your host, Kitty.
I'm Chloe, the tea hater.
I'm Kat, the third host. So a little bit of backstory for this episode. We just spent 45 minutes recording this episode, and then it was amazing. This was probably the best episode we've recorded today.
Third time's the charm.
Third time, or no.
Fourth time's the charm.
But all of a sudden the computer screen turned white and deleted the entire episode. So that's where we are in our lives right now. It's a raging storm outside, so that might have something to do with it. But, so we might go a little faster for this episode because we have a staff meeting we have to go to at 7:15, and it's currently 6:15, so we don't have a lot of time to run off of here. So I'm going to hand you back to Kitty. She's going to go over our story. There's probably not going to be a lot of commentary for this one between the peanut gallery.
They can, but just keep on talking over you guys.
Yeah, you just talk over. She'll just talk over us while we ramble. But I will hand you over to Kitty so you can know what kind of tea we're sipping on today, or we're sipping on.
I'll keep on sipping. So today's tea is the Private Selection. That is the brand, and it's called Forest Fruit. It's a caffeine-free loose leaf herbal tea. It's got some apples. It's got some hibiscus. It's got some rose hips, elderberry, raspberries, a whole bunch of stuff, and some citric acid that we all know we love.
And
right?
I don't hate it.
Yay! We found a tea that Chloe loves, so this is perfect.
Excuse me, that's a strong word. I don't like using that word.
Okay, well, maybe not love, but she enjoys it.
Don't hate.
She doesn't hate. Okay. So at least we found something that she may enjoy. Okay. So we're going to get into a little bit of one of my favorite topics from my home state of California. I'm sure you all have heard of the infamous Queen Mary. So the Queen Mary is located in Long Beach, California. Its original title is RMS Queen Mary. It is a retired British ocean liner, which was launched in 1934. Now, the Queen Mary has a nickname called the Grey Ghost, which is kind of appropriate because it's very haunted. And then, of course, there's a reason why it's called the Grey Ghost. So, as we all know, the Queen Mary's first maiden voyage was from Southampton on May 27th, 1936. On her way, I believe it was to New York. But it just kind of was an ocean liner that just kind of like went around, did its cruising and everything like that. Until around, I believe it was, let's see. She started, this is going to be a little bit harder because all of my notes are gone now. She embarked on her maiden voyage. And she did this for a while, but she became a military ship during World War II because they needed more, ships for the ocean for going around doing their war fighting and all that stuff. The war fighting. So she was retired as an active liner in 1967, and she's just become a huge attraction in California and is also a hotel. So it's a pretty, big, amusement attraction that people like to go and see. And especially they're known for their, it's really kind of corny, but their ghost tours are kind of they put way too much emphasis on the special effects and stuff when they're doing this tour, but it's still fun.
Capitalize on the spooky.
Yeah, they capitalize on the spooky. But you know what? In all honesty, they don't think they have to go all out on that stuff, but it is still kind of fun, and people pay to still go and see this thing, see this stuff. So, I mean, it's working for them. So we're going to get into a little bit of the different legendary ghosts of the Queen Mary. But in particular, there are going to be 2 different ones I'm going to really focus more on, but I'm going to go and talk about a few of the more famous ghosts. So we're going to talk about the White Lady. So the White Lady, let's see, she is basically a woman that has been seen kind of floating around the first class lounge, which is called the Queen Salon. Now, she was a guest that checked in, but never actually checked out. So
I don't like that phrasing. I don't like it.
So guests and workers have reported seeing her, like I said, around the first class lounge. She's usually dressed in a white evening gown, and she's been haunting it for more than half a century. So if you actually look up the White Lady and Queen Mary, you will actually see photographic evidence of the said ghost. So if you wanted to look that up, if you're curious, you can go ahead and do a quick little Google search, which Chloe already did.
Yeah, I did it in the last recording.
On the last recording.
Truly, I can't beat the reaction I had, because I was like, fuck no. I don't like it. Truly one of the most haunting pictures I've seen.
And it's straight up, you see the whole figure. Like, you see, it's not like a little bit of a blur or anything like that. You see a straight up figure. You see a whole lady. So, I mean, it's pretty creepy. So, I mean, and of course you already know most legends and stuff or ghost stories. I have no idea. Did you have chip in your boob? You had a chip on your boob or in your hair? Both. Okay. Well, you were saving it for later, so it's okay. So as like most legends, there's always a woman in white, and in particular, this is our woman in white on this particular haunting. So there is this little sad backstory. It's a little tragic history, but there is a little girl on the ship, and they nickname her Little Jackie. So there's a reason why she's kind of like stuck in haunting the vessel is because, so her name is Jacqueline Torrin. She was 5 or 6. I don't know exactly what age she was, but she actually drowned in the ship's second class pool, which is now, called the Royal Theater. So it's not they don't have a pool anymore. So it's not there. You can't actually go swimming. It's just an empty ass pool.
Something about swimming in a pool in the ocean freaks me out.
Yeah. Right? I think that's a little creepy. So I could see that. I don't know. I felt that does feel weird. Right? I don't know.
I mean, I prefer pools over oceans mostly because I have contact lenses and I can't, the salt water fucks with me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds like it would sting. I don't know. So visitors have actually reported hearing little Jackie splashing, calling for her parents. And even if there's ghost hunters alike that come around the ship, to do voice recordings. She's actually been recorded responding to the questions.
I saw a video.
You did see, yes, yes. So Chloe did a little research on the last take of this video, this podcast, and there was one. What did she say?
She said no.
Okay, so yeah, they were asking her a question, and she said no.
Which is the worst and most terrifying thing a ghost can say.
But there's other recordings. So if you actually look it up, you could probably find more voice recordings of little Jackie, which is really sad. I guess also some visitors think that that Jackie actually has a friend named Sarah, who also drowned in the pool, the same pool, but in 1949.
There's a lot of ghosty Sarahs.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Jackies though too.
Don't name your kids Sarah, Sally, or Jackie.
Okay, so moving along. So there's another ghost in here. His name is John Henry, just like little Jackie. He also has a really sad story. And a lot of ghost hunters tried to connect with him to figure out why he's still there, why hasn't he moved on, things like that. But he worked in the boiler room, so he was part of the crew, but his remains were just found. They don't know exactly what happened, how he died, or anything like that. But a lot of reports have been saying that they've seen Henry's figure lurking between the boiler room and the green room that's in there.
I don't like lurking. Don't lurk.
I don't know, but this ghost is a little one after my own heart because sometimes some of the ghost hunters, when they have a conversation with him, if you talk about beer, he responds. He likes beer. So, I mean...
Was it kidney failure that killed him?
I don't know. Maybe he drank too much. I honestly, I don't know. But
Too close, Chloe.
I get to talk about this.
Hey, I mean, maybe it was the heat at the boiler room and drinking too much. Maybe he died of heat exhaustion. Who knows? I don't know.
We're speculating this based on the fact that the man likes beer. beer.
You know what? Exactly. We don't know how he died, but he likes beer. So, yeah, I like beer. So, I mean, hey.
I'm not a fan.
So, the next ghost, I have a little story time. You guys have already heard the story, but I'm going to retell this story.
It's a good story.
So I actually have been on the Queen Mary back when I was in high school, around 14 years old. We went there because, hey, we wanted to go on something really cool and want to go on, we liked museums and things like that. So we wanted to go on there, and plus my whole family likes ghost things. So we're like, hell yeah, let's go on this ghost tour. So we went there, we took the tour. So there is this room, this crawl space, crouch space. I don't know. It's almost like you're basically crouching. You're not really crawling, but it's really, really short. It's really narrow. You cannot fit two people side by side. You'd have to literally be one behind the other. So, the tour guide was like, yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and go through there, that's fine. We'll meet you on the other side. And we're like, okay. So we're going through there. I think it was me, my sister, and my cousin, and we're all kind of going through there. And in the middle of it, we're walking through this, and I literally felt a hand just grab my arm, and it was so cold. It gave me goosebumps from head to toe. My hair was standing on my neck. It was the creepiest feeling ever.
I would have yeeted myself off the boat.
The ship, Chloe. We have talked about this. It's a ship.
The ship is the type of boat I'm dying on the sail. I'm staying there.
There's a difference between boat and ship, but we're gonna, okay. So we're pushing past this. So
Stubborn bitch.
when I felt that made my heart just start beating so fast, it was racing, and I literally almost pummeled over my sister trying to climb over her, and I started pushing her, go, just go, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, something just touched my arm, but freaking out. We're running. Why are you blowing smoke into your cup? I don't understand this.
For those of you.
Okay.
listening,
So we're pushing through and stuff, and we get out to the other side. We actually made it out to the other side before my parents and the tour guide person got there. So, because we were freaking out, I would have taken a nice little walk through it, not running through it until I felt that, and it freaked me the fuck out. I don't get freaked out really often, so if something like that freaks me out, then something is definitely wrong. Plus, it also felt kind of creepy and dark. It didn't feel like a normal haunting, and I've had a lot of different paranormal experiences, and this right here was just hella scary. So, yeah, that was my encounter on the Queen Mary, and it was creepy as shit.
I mean, I feel like the second anything disembodied grabs your arm, you know that TikTok sound is it's quiet when it goes, run.
Oh, yes, exactly. So the reason that I like telling this little story is because I feel like the ghost that I'm about to talk about is what I probably encountered, or maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's a dark thing, I don't know. But so this ghost name is Grumpy the Growling Ghost.
Hell yeah.
This
Grabbed you?
Grumpy, I'm pretty sure, yes. Oh my god. So the spirits, they don't actually have they don't know the identity of this ghost in particular. So we don't know if it's it was someone who died on the ship, or it could be something that was released. Who knows? So he's known because he tends to growl at visitors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is why he's called Growling Ghost. He growls at visitors. They also say that he's said to be lurking in a room under the stairs near the first class swimming pool, which was the area where we were. And sometimes he's joined by John Henry, which we talked about in the boiler room. Mm-hmm.
It's a bromance, I ship it.
And if you are all curious about this, you can actually go and search the voice of the audio recordings of Grumpy growling. There are actual ones there you can actually find.
Hey, the only one that I found when I did the last recording of this episode was, I think it was him audibly saying "not here," which is way worse than growling.
But yeah, he doesn't
necessarily
yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I feel it's, I don't know, I think you have to dig really deep to find it. This right here, I have a link that you can click and listen to, but I'm not going to do it right now because we have no time at the moment. But
we have a staff meeting after this.
Yeah, we have a staff meeting, so
We do it all.
So Next ghost we're going to talk about is Captain Treasure Jones. So he was actually the very last captain that was active when Queen Mary was active. So he sailed the ship from 1965 to 1967, and he was there for the final voyage. Now, he died at the age of 87 in 1993. So I feel like he's probably just attached to it because maybe he loved his job or something. Like there's some kind of attachment to the ship, and that's probably why he haunts
His
it.
soul linked to it in some way.
Yeah, like there's some kind of attachment there. And a lot of visitors have said that, like, I guess he used to smoke cigars, and they report smelling cigar smoke in the captain's quarters because that's what he used to smoke cigars when he was the captain in there.
I feel like anytime I watch a movie where there's a captain anywhere, I feel like I envision it always smelling like cigars anyway. Like it just feels captain-y to me.
Yeah, I feel like it is. That's just something. I don't know if they did that on the Titanic though. Did they? Maybe they did.
I don't remember. It's been a
I
while
don't
since
remember.
I watched the movie.
All right, so this next ghost, I'm going to go a little more in depth with this one because it's such a really, really sad story. Also, it's really well known. It's been in movies. They've talked about this particular door. They've had it, I think it was like Poseidon something. I don't remember. There was an actual movie that like featured, they filmed it on the Queen Mary and it had this door in the movie. But there's been a lot of different, stuff about it. So we're going to talk about John Petter, and his nickname is Half Hatch Perry. Perry. Wow. Half Hatch Harry. So and I'm emphasizing half for a reason, because this poor man, he wasn't even a man. He was a boy still, technically. I mean, he was an adult, but he was only 18 years old when he died.
A baby.
He was a literal baby. So he died in July 10th, 1966. So he joined the Queen Mary's crew in March 30th, 1966. So he was only part of the crew for a couple months before he died, which is really sad. So he was a fireman, which I'm assuming means that he probably put out the fires and stuff on the ship if there was a fire. He also cleaned the ship and worked in the boiler room and stuff like that too. So on the morning, I'm not sure exact what morning, but they did record what time he was found in the morning. Well, obviously he died on the 10th, so it was the morning of July 10th. Wow, I'm special.
You're fine.
So he was found around 3:55 a.m. By a crew member, and his body was crushed by the door, like cut in half. So, as you know, these watertight doors are extremely. They're like weighs so many tons, right? Because it's just plain steel. It's solid steel.
Inches thick.
It's super
Watertight.
heavy. It's so in case like something happened, the water can like keep from coming through and flooding said area. Well, you just imagine this poor guy is crushed by something like that.
I don't want to imagine
that is terrifying and so scary.
Horrible.
There's been different theories as to how he died and stuff. So there was one stating that he was playing chicken with another crew member.
Stop playing chicken.
Unless it's with chicken nuggets.
Unless it's with chicken nuggets. Then
Chicken
you can play
nuggies.
Chicken nuggies.
Love 'em.
So I don't know how he would be playing chicken with a crewmate, and maybe they were maybe my thought to playing chicken is maybe can you run through the door before it shuts?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what it was.
I had a totally different picture in my head. Continue.
I don't know. It's that's really fucking scary. What would you
Yeah.
try to? No.
No. 18-years-olds do some stupid shit though, man.
Oh, they
I was
do.
one once.
And then there's been other reports that said that they don't know exactly how it happened and that just a crew member found his body.
Yeah.
Well,
because homeboy that was playing chicken with him didn't want to come forward and fess up to
Oh,
the
yeah.
heretics.
Oh yeah. So they were saying that he was found crushed. The only sign of trauma was a bit of blood trickling down his nose and his skin turning blue due to the lack of oxygen. And then they were saying they don't know if he was dead right away, or if he was pronounced dead on arrival to the ship's hospital.
It sounds so horrible, and I don't want to say it, but I really hope it was instant.
I really hope so. One of them was saying that He was found by a refrigeration greaser named Cripps.
That is
So,
the most badass name.
so I mean, like but there were no witnesses. So I mean, if he was actually playing chicken, was it like someone didn't want to like be like fess up, like, hey, we were playing something stupid, and he's dead because we were being dumb and didn't want to get in trouble. But basically, like, the officers that were on duty immediately were notified by a startled crew member. So Cripps, whoever found him, probably screamed or yelled or did something like. So his body was removed from the door and placed on the deck. By the time the night sister arrived, which I'm assuming she's the nurse.
Yeah.
Or nun nurse.
Nun nurse.
A nun nurse.
Like
Probably. She was unable to determine whether or not he was alive, so he was administered morphine and was pronounced dead upon arrival to the hospital. So maybe she gave him morphine. If he was still alive, maybe that kind of eased him until he died. You know, hopefully he wasn't in pain. I'm not sure. It's creepy. So, but his ghost has been reported on the starboard side of Shaft Alley, and then I guess.
That's what she said.
So the guests that have been on like Queen Mary have reported seeing a young man, bearded, wearing a white boiler suit, sometimes looking for a wrench, likely the one that he used to manually open the watertight seal or door 13. That was the number on the door. And they've also reported weird activity in the area, from shadows to knocking sounds, just, creaking and, groaning on the stuff, because the stuff is not active anymore. It's out of commission. So that would just be really creepy. Like, you can just hear, like, the tapping and stuff. And that's, like, actually part of, like, the ghost tour. So, like, they actually will bring you down into, like, the boiler area, and they have, like, sounds to make it, like, the sound effects and stuff, but, like, to make it a little more creepy, because people are paying for this, like, charade of ghostly stuff. But
I wonder if there's a way you could specify, like, it's a real person who goes, be like, cut the shit, let me see what's real.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to go to, we've decided her name is Dana. Right?
Yeah.
Dana. So there's a ghost name. Her name is Dana. It's really, really sad, though. So the legend has it that someone murdered a young woman named Dana and her family in room B474. The killer strangled Dana's little sister and mother on the bed and then shot Dana to death in her bathroom. So there has been reports saying that her spirit can be found lurking with other ghostly children in the second-class pool. And sometimes Grumpy and John join her.
Do we know how old Dana is?
Sounds like she's just a little girl. Young woman. Maybe she's a teenager. Maybe she's in her, like, preteens, something.
That's really sad.
Yeah, so it's really sad. So, however, I wanted to get into this B340. Okay, so there's legends. There's been people who've actually stayed in this. So this is one of the rooms that you can actually rent. So it is dubbed one of the the Queen Mary in general has been dubbed one of the top 10 most haunted places on Earth by Time Magazine. And this room in particular, so the stateroom B340, used to be, so when it was docked and everything, people could actually stay there and stuff, but they ended up having to stop offering it because it was so scary. There was a lot of ghostly activity and stuff that was happening that they ended up basically canceling it. They're like, no, this is too scary. People are freaking out. They're complaining, whatever. But I think over the years, they've realized that, well, hell, we should just open it back up because there's a lot of people who are interested in this kind of stuff and they want to be scared shitless.
Well, there's that haunted house that you have to literally sign massive waivers for.
Listen to me right now. We do not talk about McCamey Manor on this podcast.
Okay.
We don't talk about it.
Okay.
We don't talk about it.
I'll never mention it again.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Also, I think it's called McKinney Manor.
McCamey.
McCamey?
Mm-hmm. It's McCamey.
Oh, you know what? One of my friends' last names is McKinney.
Now I'm curious and I'll have to look this up.
About that.
Awful. Look up some, like, old videos of it. It's horrible.
Truly
disgusting.
Torture.
Oh.
And I don't know why it's allowed to be, like, a thing.
That's...
I don't think he is
hopefully, because I would not want to be touched.
He?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
What do you mean?
the owner. The
oh,
owner.
okay. I thought you were
owner.
calling the
owner. Yeah.
I was like, no. We're
There's
not
a whole last documentary about
Oh
it.
my
You
gosh.
need to watch it.
I'm not allowed to watch it.
Okay. So this room in particular, Stateroom B340 has been featured on Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters. It was on British TV series Most Haunted. So this room typically offers everybody's like thrill seekers and ghost hunters whatever tickles their fancy, right? They like to be scared, silly. Well, this is the room for them because it is very, very, they have a lot of paranormal shit that happens in this room. So a lot of like the recorded paranormal activity started actually back in like its final voyage in 1967. So guests were complaining about someone was knocking on the door in the middle of the night. Other complaints were like bathroom lights were turning on and off, like flickering on and off. Someone's like messing with the light switch, like, creepy. And then faucets were turning on and off in there. And you were talking about the water, right?
Yeah, so I mentioned this in the last attempted recording of this episode, but I was telling them how usually if a bathroom seems particularly I can't speak. If a bathroom seems particularly more haunted than the rest of the joint, then that's usually a sign that it's a not so good ghost you're dealing with, because something about like, of course, like the running of water gives certain entities energy, and something about like it's kind of a humid, like dark space to hang out in. And yeah, I don't remember where I heard that.
Humid and dark together. I don't know why.
Sorry. But yeah, something about like if it's in the bathroom, if your bathroom seems like faucets turning on and off, like tapping on the walls, like lights turning on and off, stuff like that, then it's usually a not so nice ghost that you're dealing with.
Sage the fuck out of your house.
Sage your bathroom. Yeah. Never go to the bathroom again.
Stay out of your bathrooms.
I would be putting night lights in a bathroom, and putting salt. Put salt in there. Do a salt ring in the bathroom. Oh my god, my safe little circle.
Just stand in while you brush your teeth.
Is a bathroom full of Epsom salts safe?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a salt. Yeah, we'd be good.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Take a bubble bath if you want to be in your bathroom.
Put a nice little ring around the toilet so while you're on the toilet, you're like, no spooky things can touch me while I'm taking a shit.
If you have the ability while you're building your house, just line the bathroom walls with salts before you build up the walls.
Yes. Because, you get the literal shit scared out of you, so I'd want to have...
If there's any place you want to get the literal shit scared out of you, it's
That's the best place to do it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, let's see. Going back... so some of the other guests have actually talked about... So, their bathroom doors have, shut on its own, shutting, slamming almost. And then some guests have also talked about how their covers were being pulled off of their bed in the middle of the night while they were asleep.
No, I hate that.
I hate it more than life.
I was mentioning earlier, I can just imagine slowly feeling your bed sheet just coming, sliding down, and then I could just imagine this hand just coming. I don't know why. It's just totally making me think of some.
I hate it.
I don't know. I'm feeling some Freddy stuff going on.
Podcast if she stops talking.
It's gonna be a bad podcast. Why?
I said if she stops talking.
Oh, why?
Because then it's gonna be quiet and it's not a podcast.
That's very true. Also, some people have actually reported saying they've woken up to a dark figure standing at the end of their bed, staring at them.
Nope. I can't go home anymore. This is fine. I'm staying with you tonight.
Okay, that's fine. So there's been, so the one thing about this room in particular though, so you can stay in this room for $500 a night. And you get the standard hotel amenities and everything like that. But for more fun and adventurous people, you are also gifted a chest with supplies of unique items, including to make your haunting experience even more spooky, you can get a Ouija board, tarot cards, and crystal ball. You are literally opening up Pandora's box, and that is something you do not want to do. You do not want to freaking mess with the Ouija board. And we were talking about this in the last one, and I cannot. Well, that was really flashy of light, so that's great. It was flashy. The light's flashing me. But like, we got on a rant when we did the recording of this earlier. We went on a rant about don't fuck with the Ouija board. Don't mess with the Ouija board. Like, you don't want to mess with something that's dark because people do not know how
to own a Ouija board. Don't use a Ouija board
because people don't know how to use it properly. For one, and they don't know how to close the portals. You're going to you're going to bring some dark things into the world that you're unleashing, and that's probably why there's so many hauntings on the Queen Mary. For one, because people have been fucking with this stuff.
I feel like I've heard other places have other places that let people stay there that are haunted explicitly say, "Do not use a Ouija board here." I can't tell you where because I don't know off the top of my head.
The Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be killed by an axe murderer in your sleep.
The Lizzie Borden house actually had an antique Ouija board like leaning up against the wall in the living room, and they told people not to touch it because it's cursed.
Yes.
And somebody actually took it home, stole it from the Lizzie Borden house, and sent it back a week later with a note that said, "Make it stop."
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No.
That happened.
No.
We'll talk about the Lizzie Borden house another time.
that will be.
Don't touch Ouija
Yeah.
boards.
We will definitely talk
Stop
about that.
fucking with Ouija boards.
But yeah, just don't mess with them. Please don't. Just don't. So I was going to go through another legend. So this is a legend, apparently. I don't know, and I'll go through it, but there's, oh God, I didn't see this last time. Okay, so there is another thing in here too. Let's see. There's a couple other, not murders, but maybe. So one of the senior second officer, William Eric Stark, accidentally drank dry cleaning fluid instead of gin.
Oh, no. That sounds very
and
similar to
died.
Thomas death.
Yeah, so this crazy. Oh God! And the cook was baked alive by his own kitchen staff during World War II.
No.
What? Okay, I did not know about that, but that's kind of creepy. So this is all on the Queen Mary. This is all the Queen Mary stuff. But so going back into B3. Sorry, I just saw that and I had to say it because that's just kind of weird. So apparently, back in the 60s, during one of the final cruises before the ship was docked, a man went crazy and brutally murdered 2 women. His crimes were discovered, and he was locked as a prisoner in one of the third-class staterooms. They don't remember exactly which one it was. It was B222, 224, 226. It was one of those rooms. So the door was locked. Oh, yeah. No. So the door was locked, and a guard was posted outside. So a little while later, he started pounding on the door, saying someone was in there with him, trying to kill him. So, of course, the guard's just I'm going to ignore you because you're just trying to get out of here, but you just killed a whole bunch of people. So we're going to keep you here until we can get you back to land and get you arrested and whatnot, right? So after a while, the passenger quieted down, and so the guard was just like, okay, well, he fell asleep, whatever. So the next day when the ship arrived in New York, the crew, summoned the police and detectives and all that stuff, and people, so they can come and get the murderer because, hey, we have a murderer on our hands. Come get this guy. Come arrest him. Well, when they opened the door to the stateroom, they found the man had been ripped apart. His entrails and limbs spread all over the room. There's no possible way that this guy could have done that to himself.
I literally don't understand.
No.
No.
And even with because last episode we were talking about, Kat brought up the Russian sleep experiment, which is an urban legend that no one can prove true or false, being that the Russians gassed a bunch of experimentees into staying awake for what was it, a month?
No, I don't think it was quite that.
Or a week or something. And we can't prove that that's true, but I looked up that there is in fact a fatal insomnia disease, Law and Order SVU, shout out to you for educating me, that it's a degenerative brain disease. But I didn't see any articles about people ripping their entrails out of them. Also, you can't throw your limbs when you rip your arms off. Like, that's not a thing. And if his limbs were scattered, that's not a thing he could have done to himself. Like, it truly isn't.
No, there's really not. Like, there's no, I don't know. There's, like, different legends and stuff that had talked about that. But, like, there was other ones, like, there was different variations. So it's like a man killed his family in the cabin. A woman killed her husband. A husband killed his wife. And, like, there was one passenger who had his throat, one of their throats was slit. But nobody can trace back what actually happened because it's like, it sounds like an urban legend.
Yeah.
But according to an actual author of the book, Spirited Queen Mary, the author is Nicole Strickland. She talks about the legend of B340, which was, in her book, she says that it was invented in the late 80s or 90s or early 90s by employees of the Walt Disney Company because they actually owned the Queen Mary's hotel part for a short time.
Do you think this is where like Tower of Terror and Haunted Mansion kind of vaguely came from?
Possibly. Maybe. I don't know.
Tower of Terror was a Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. But I feel like these stories are just a haunted hotel type situation. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, honestly, like, it's very possible.
Disney owned it.
I mean, yeah, like, it was just for a short time. I guess, like, a few cast members, they wanted to scare the guests that were, like, staying in the hotel because people kept asking about why these rooms were not finished because they were being refurbished and, like, reconstructed or whatever. And because they weren't available for booking. So they wanted to be like, oh, it's because these people were murdered here. And so it's so haunted. We don't, we don't book them out or something. So obviously, people don't want to do that. Let's see, there's some other, like, paranormal stuff's going on. Like, people have reported, like you said, their, sheets being pulled off while sleeping, clothes hangers rattling in the room, footsteps can be heard, knocks, different stuff like that. So it's just a really creepy thing.
It's so spooky. I'm not into it.
Oh, well, get this. The stateroom was entirely redone and reopened on Friday the 13th of April.
No.
Nice.
No, not this year. It doesn't say what year it was, but it just, whenever
What
it was,
years had April's?
whenever it reopened, it was opened on Friday the 13th and in April. But, just kind of creepy.
Interesting.
There's been Friday the 13th in April in 25 years.
I also just saw this, but there's a picture on one of the articles that I was kind of like researching. There's a picture in one of the bathroom cabins where it's how to summon Bloody Mary.
No.
Oh no.
They legit have a thing.
Stop.
That was...
I'm not going to say her name again, but there's something on the wall that tells you how to do it, like step by step.
No,
and it's like,
stop doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
Stop
okay.
opening portals.
okay, I thought you were telling me not to say her name 2 more times. So, yeah.
Beetlejuice, don't do that.
Yeah.
I remember the Bloody Mary thing was big.
You just said it a second time.
That's okay.
We have a third, so I'm not going to say it again. Yeah, and it also thought it has to be unbroken. Like, you have to say it 3 times in a row.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not gonna say it again. But it was a big thing in 4th and 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And when I was in 4th and 5th grade, our bathrooms were in temp buildings. Oh, no. The scariest of the buildings.
Oh, gosh.
So, didn't fuck with that shit.
Yep.
Truly terrifying. Don't summon ghosts, guys, especially ones with names like Bloody in the title. Like, they ain't happy. Stop opening portals.
I just don't understand, like, but this is on the Queen Mary.
Your AC kicking on sounds like a portal.
It truly, your AC has been giving me a hard time all night.
But apparently that ritual is printed on the bathrooms in the Queen Mary.
Why? No, don't like it.
I don't know, but it's printed on the wall between the hairdryer and the individually wrapped small soaps. It's like, here's some really nice little small soaps.
Here's a free soap, and here's how to summon a demon.
Yeah, like,
No. Oh, but apparently some of the stuff that they actually give you is some ghost hunting equipment, and electric candles on the walls are covered with pictures of ghosts and stories of the ghost encounters. That's kind of cool.
Spirit box?
Okay, I know.
Okay.
So we are going to be wrapping this up, but trying to think. So what did you guys think of today's story?
Don't make me go. I have trauma.
I love the Queen Mary. I've always wanted to go to the Queen Mary, and I'm very jealous that you got to when you were a kid. So
We're going to make this a future trip.
we're going to make this a future trip, just like Goatman's Bridge. It is not a promise, but a threat that we will go to Goatman's Bridge and do an episode on Goatman's Bridge or Shane Madey's Bridge. I haven't decided whose it is yet.
Next
last-
because I'm going to get thrown off the bridge. I'm so scared.
Last time I heard it was still Shane's Bridge, so. Anyway, all right. So, thank you all for joining us tonight. We have to go now. Oh, yes. Let us clink our teacups because this was a wonderful episode. Thank you, Kitty, for going through that again after the last one was
You're very welcome.
sadly destroyed.
I know that one was even better, so I'm sorry, guys, but I tried my best to make this a really good
We
one.
did.
We shaved off 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did really well. I say this. I call this a win.
This is
Yeah,
good.
this is a
I
win.
hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
I'm truly horrified, which I feel like y'all can call a win. I want to go watch Disney movies now. I'm
Okay.
scared.
All right, guys. We're gonna go home now. Okay. Thank you for joining us on Spooky Time Tea. This is Kip. Oh my God. This is Kitty, Chloe, and Kat. Good luck telling us apart. You're never gonna do it.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
Enjoy this.
Stop opening portals and don't park your car on the goddamn train tracks.
Stop playing with the Ouija board.
Lock your doors.
Stop playing with
And
the
stop
Ouija board.
murdering goats.
Yes, goats on her. Kitchen floor has
Okay, hold on. Thank you for joining us on Spooky Time Tea, guys. This is Kitty, Kat, and Chloe. Good luck telling us apart. That's never going to happen. Stop murdering goats. Stop parking your car on train tracks. Stop fucking with Ouija boards. Stop opening portals. And for the love of God, lock your goddamn doors. Thank you and good night.